in Carolyn Leavitt, the White House press secretary, to dig more into this and other issues. Carolyn, it's great to see you. It's good to have our own private briefing today.
It's great to see you, too. Thanks for having me, guys.
So the Democrats are really screaming from the rooftops about Doge, all centered around Elon Musk and USAID. Here's just a little bit of what they've been doing in the past few days.
Okay.
First and foremost, Elon Musk.
This is a dictatorship in the making. Yeah. We're not going to have apartheid in America anymore.
So here's the interesting thing. A Reuters Ipsos poll that was done right after the USAID news broke found that 56% of people would like to see all foreign assistance programs suspended, which is leading a lot of people to say that the Democrats have picked a very weird hill to die on.
Damn.
That's because there's no other hill to die on, because President Trump could...
Yo, I like her. She's direct. She get her point across. She's aggressive. She's saying it's no other hill for them to die on. So this will go ahead and die on this hill. I did not know all this was going on. That's why I'm glad we're doing these type of videos now, so we could actually know what's going on in the United States.
And I think everybody pretty much is at that point. I mean, when you say 56% of the people are agreeing, yo, stop outsourcing our bread.
Yeah.
We don't have none.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much where it's at. We don't have it to give away.
Yeah. We need everything.
Take care of home and figure the rest out later.
And that's why people put Trump in office, because people wanted America to be put first again instead of outsourcing our jobs to everywhere else, and they're getting money, and we out here got to figure out how to pay $9 for 12 eggs.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's because there's no other hill to die on, because President Trump continues to deliver on the promises that he made to the American people on the campaign trail, and going through the federal government line by line and making this government more efficient is one of those priorities and one of those promises that President Trump made. And as you just cited, John, 56% of Americans support freezing foreign aid. And I read a fascinating article in the Washington Post today. They interviewed voters in Pennsylvania, and all of them said that they support President Trump and Elon Musk's efforts to make this government more efficient. What President Trump and Elon Musk and this entire administration is trying to do is make our bloated bureaucracy here in Washington run like a profitable business. And every agency has been tasked with going line by line and ensuring that the American taxpayers' money is aligned with the American people's interests. It's a common sense solution to fixing a decades-old problem of bloated bureaucracy, waste, fraud, and abuse. And the vast majority of Americans support it. So the Democrats can hoot and holler.
Vast Americans do support it. They don't mind that he's going line by line to figure out where money's going. It don't need to go there. It don't need to go here, and just cutting out wasteful spending. We see it time after time. Every president come in, and when they leave, the deficit keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
So he's doing the opposite.
Yeah, he's definitely doing the opposite, and I like what he's doing. He said all of this, that he was going to do this. I don't know why anyone is surprised that he's doing what he said he was going to do, and most Americans want him to do.
Right, run the audit.
And abuse, and the vast majority of Americans support it. So the Democrats can hoot and holler all they want. This White House will stay committed to delivering on President Trump's priorities and being good stewards of the hardworking American people's tax dollars.
All right, Caroline, again, great to have you on the program. Sandra here. So as far as President Trump's federal buyout offer, we know that expires at midnight tonight. The latest we've heard is that 40,000 staff have agreed to leave. Before I get to my question, is that still about the number right now, 40,000?
Yes, last I checked with the Office of Personnel Management, it was more than 40,000 and counting. And I would add that we encourage federal workers who don't feel like showing up to the office to accept this buyout program. It's a very generous offer from President Trump and this administration.
It's definitely a very generous offer, and an offer that probably didn't have to be made. You hear a lot of people complaining that staying at home, I don't have daycare, I don't have this, I got this happen, I can't go back into the office. Well, if you can't do it, it's a problem. We're here a little package to help you until you go transition into your next situation, because it's obviously not working with you.
Yeah, it's not working
to the office, so let's try something else.
Time to try something else.
I wonder if that's about the number where the president thought he would be right now, or perhaps that might be bigger. Reportedly, and we'll ask you to confirm if this is the case, President Trump is planning mass layoffs if there are not more who agree to those buyouts. Is that the case?
I haven't heard the president discuss that directly, so I can't confirm that. But like I said, we do know that more than 40,000 and counting federal workers.
I heard it. He made it very clear. I can't remember the exact date, but he said they have a day he thinks that the workers belong in the office.
I think that was yesterday at 12 p.m. I think it was yesterday.
And then he told him, he said, not only you could either adhere to what he's saying, or we give you the option to buy you out of your situation. It will cover you for about 6 to 8 months.
8 months.
Yeah, that's about it. So you got options. You can either do what I want you to do, or it's been real, or you just lose.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Have agreed to this buyout program, and they are looking forward, I guess, to having their 8-month paid vacation. The president made a commitment that he was going to encourage the federal workforce to return to the office. We know only 6% of federal workers are working in the office right now. That's unacceptable, and that's why the buyout program was offered.
I want to ask about the president's announcement on Gaza the other day, which seemed to take staff members by surprise. It's something that he had talked about, but they didn't know he was going to make an announcement. A few people I've talked to who worked there at the White House, when they heard that, they said, wait, what? I mean, it's an idea. Some people think that he's laying down the gauntlet to our allies to say, well, if you don't like this idea, have you got a better idea?
Right.
But the question I have is, he went through the...
I said all the time, don't knock my idea unless you got a better idea.
Need a better idea. Have a solution.
All you could do is tell me my idea is not good, but you can't tell me how to make it better. Exactly. That's what it's about.
Idea. Have you got a better idea? But the question I have is, he went through the campaign saying that he wanted to get the United States out of its involvement in foreign entanglements. This would seem to be exactly the opposite of that.
Yeah.
I don't think so, John. The president has made it clear that he will not be sending boots on the ground at Gaza. He is not committed to that. He also has made it clear that American taxpayers will not be funding this effort. The president is trying to strike a deal to ensure that Gaza can actually be a habitable place for human beings who want to live in peace with real economic development. And President Trump is an outside-of-the-box thinker. That's, again, why the American people elected him, because he has a different perspective to the foreign policy challenges that have been plaguing our world for many, many years. And so this is a great idea, and our partners in the region have begun to discuss it with this administration. We have the King of Bahrain coming to the White House next week, and the president has spoken to many of our partners and allies in the Middle East about this opportunity in Gaza.
Okay, in lines of all the spending cuts,
I think she did a good job answering that question. Almost like you try to box in the corner. Well, he said this, and it looks like he's doing the opposite, and she just stood on business. I don't think that's what he's doing. He said X, Y, and Z, and just let everything play out.
Yeah, just let it play out how it's going to.
Yeah.
There's a lot of concern, and Democrats are penning letters to the president trying to get clarity on where he stands with the Department of Education. Is he planning to completely dismantle this? What right now is his thinking on that?
Sure. Well, first, let me say the president is wholeheartedly committed to spending cuts and, of course, making the government more efficient. That's part of what DOGE is already hitting the ground running to do. As when it comes to the Department of Education, the president and his policy team continue to look at options and how to reduce the size of the Department of Education, if not abolish it completely. You heard the president say, half jokingly but also serious, he wants Linda McMahon, who will lead that agency, to put herself out of a job because he wants to return the power over our education system back to the states. In fact, I actually have a statistic in front of me. 70% of 8th graders are at a below proficient level in math and reading. 70%, and that's just.
And that's why
it's like lean on me numbers.
Yeah, and that's what I was telling you about my kids in elementary. Like I'm glad Trump doing what he's doing, because when the numbers came back, 4% of the kids are at a 4% of the kids in the school is at the math levels, and only 7% of the school is at the right grading level. And when I see them numbers, I couldn't believe those was actually real numbers, that only 4 and 7%, and it's just crazy. It wasn't like that when we was coming up.
No,
it wasn't close to that. So something had to be done, because something is not working.
It's lacking,
and the numbers are getting lower and lower in the United States.
And it's evident.
Yeah, it's like in the United States, our education compared to other country education is almost last. And it shouldn't be that way. Something got to be done differently, because obviously what's being done, it's not working at all.
Despite spending hundreds of billions of dollars on education every single year, the current system located in Washington, D.C. is not working. And the president is committed to ensuring that states and parents have a greater say in our children's education system.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the way it should be. Who else should have a better, who else should be having those type of debates about the parents? The parents should be able to pick what they want their kids to do with their education, because we know what's best for our kids. We know what direction we want to put them into.
I mean, it just only makes sense. I mean, you're going to hold the parents accountable for what's being done or what's not being done. So they should have some influence on what's being studied and what's not being studied.
Yeah, we don't even get to pick what curriculums our kids what they're doing in school. We don't have nonsense. No say so in nothing. But us on our house, we have to pay taxes to the school. But at the end of the day, we don't have no say so
for
what
doing
goes in the school.
What you wouldn't normally do. Yeah, it's crazy.
State of education in America, for the most part, is scandalous. There's no doubt about that. I wanted to ask you about the executive order that the president signed yesterday in what was a brilliant moment of stagecraft at the White House, surrounded by all those young female athletes, as the president codified in an executive order the fact that transgender athletes have to stay out of women's sports. But in order to really codify that, that's going to take an act of Congress. Is the president moving down that direction?
Well, we expect Congress to act on this, and if Congress puts a bill on this topic before President Trump's desk that makes sense and is good law, then the president is committed to signing legislation that supports the executive action he has already taken. And I will just say it was a glorious moment at the White House yesterday afternoon to see these female athletes who have worked so hard and have spoken up so courageously about the injustices that they have faced on the sports field. And as a former college,
we seen it time after time. We was asking, why are they letting this go on? We seen a lady, female boxer in the ring with a guy boxer. He hit her one time. She quit. We was watching.
Face all broke up.
Yeah, we seen on social media it was a guy versus these girls. He was tall and he smoked all the girls.
Yeah, it's just not even right.
It's not right. It's not fair. We didn't come up seeing this type of stuff in school sports.
Yeah, it's
so I can't even imagine seeing it. It's different between seeing a video like we seen actually seeing it in real life. Even seeing a video didn't make sense. I can only imagine what it seemed like in real life. And all you could hear was a lady in the background screaming like, "He's a guy, because it just wasn't fair."
Yeah, it's not fair.
Softball player myself, it was incredibly special to see the president make the dreams of millions of female athletes across the country true. And we had a big win following President Trump's executive order. Within hours, the NCAA announced that they will be following with the president's federal policy. And by the way, we expect the Olympic Committee to do the same. 2028, the Olympics will be returning to the United States of America. And how wonderful it will be for women across the world to see the U.S. lead on this incredibly important and common sense issue.
Caroline, I want to finish by asking you about the number of deportations we've seen.
Yeah, it just is what it is, man. Like, I'm tired of trying to understand things that don't make no damn sense.
It makes zero sense.
And then having to take a polite approach to it.
Yeah.
Like, no.
It's not fair. It's not right.
It's not fair to me.
On no levels. If my daughters was playing sports, I wouldn't want them playing against guys.
Absolutely not.
It's going to ruin their confidence because they're thinking they're not good. You're good. You're just playing against a guy.
Yeah. I mean, it just is what it is. Yeah. And I mean, now, there are situations that you just can't avoid. Like when you're talking about like wrestling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the majority of male sport. And then you have females who step inside. Yeah. There's really no getting around that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like we were talking about earlier, if you got men's boxing, you got women's boxing. Yeah. There's no point where it ever makes sense for a man to be full-fledged, full contact in there with a woman.
A female. Not at all. You're not even the best female.
Yeah, not even the best one.
Nah.
Seen so far, perhaps this is the most public action for the American people that they've seen under this new presidency. Is the president happy, content with the number of deportations we've seen so far? There's reports that those numbers have not reached the heights he was hoping.
$1,500
No,
a day.
the president is very pleased with the efforts by his team. Tom Homan, Stephen Miller, Secretary Kristi Noem, who has been traversing the country, talking with Border Patrol agents and ICE agents who are been tasked with this very important responsibility, the largest mass deportation operation in history. But as I've said before, we will not get complacent. And the president has made this very bold promise to the American people, and he expects everybody across DHS and here at the White House to continue to work hard every day to deport illegal criminals from American communities. And yesterday, I know that Mr. Homan was in Colorado. They deported more than 100 Tren de Aragua members. That's a huge win for the American people, for law-abiding citizens of this country who have been put last because of the previous administration's immigration policies and are being put first again because of the Trump administration's immigration policies.
That's what everybody wants. Just want to be put first again. People feel like we're lagging, we're getting put behind, everyone getting put in front of us. The people that work hard here, pay taxes here, that's doing what they're supposed to do. For what? To put last, and the people that's not supposed to get here is getting all the extras,
all the help,
all the bells and whistles, all the help, and
all the support. And this is America.
And it's just like it doesn't make any sense at all.
And then whatever's left is getting outsourced. Whatever's it's frustrating when you say it out loud. Yeah. Because it sounds like nonsense. Yeah. But what really is happening.
It's really happening.
Give all the illegals XYZ money. Yeah. Give them support systems. Yeah. Make sure they're good to go.
Get them cars, give them housing, give them food stamps.
Give them credit.
Give their kids free schooling. Give them everything.
Give them all the opportunity.
The Medicaid.
Yeah. Because we're getting taxed for it.
Yeah, we're paying for it.
And they were like, all right, this is what's left. Yeah. We just going to outsource that to everybody else in the world who's going through anything. Yeah. Well, what about us?
Yeah. And they'll just tell you, just because we helped all them out, we don't have anything left to give you.
Yeah, we don't have anything left.
But good luck at work on Monday.
Yeah. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
Facts. It's a crazy situation. Definitely, Trump is doing everything that he said. Before we got out this video, if you didn't like, subscribe, or leave a comment, make sure you do that. Until our next video, it's Tremaine Jones.
It's Lamar Wilson.
And we out.